You're about to see is from my Twitch stream where Craig from Flaming Fowl was nice enough to come on and do some Q&A about the new Guildmaster update and sort of show us around a little bit, show us the ropes. It's a little bit rough around the edges because we literally decided that day that it was going to be something we could do. So also my attention, I'm trying to ask Craig some questions here and try and keep the dialogue going, but also my gameplay kind of suffers because of the chat. So you'll have to forgive me for my poor play, but if you'd like to see me play Gloomhaven live, I assure you I'm usually a bit better than this. You can catch me over at twitch.tv/mandatoryquest, but apart from that, let's just get into the Q&A. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So as I've sort of explained so far up to this point, I've kind of got myself to the Falling Star mission. So, which is the mission that directly, sort of like the first mission after the tutorial, right? It kind of like marks the kind of the end of the tutorial. So we'll load ourselves up there. Cool. Okay, so do you want to explain like what the different missions are, or?
Yeah, so as you say, kind of gone through the tutorial, there's kind of two sections to the tutorial. There's the very basic stuff of actually teaching you, the fundamentals of how to play the game. But then as we've taken the original tutorial and broken that down into, multiple missions now to try and make that a lot more of a streamlined experience for new players. But as we're doing that, we start to introduce as well the sort of different mechanics and the way that this new mode is going to work. So the big thing is we have sort of three main quest types that you're going to get to go and do. So you have journey missions, or travel missions as we call them, which are going to unlock new locations on the map. So you can see on the screen just now, you've got the fog of war kind of obscuring lots of the map. So as you unlock new locations, that'll gradually get knocked back and you'll unlock new content and quests doing that. You have job missions, which are random missions that will appear all over the place that give you a lot more gold than the normal missions. We also get things like item designs from them. And then you have story missions as well. So each character in the game has now got three missions, sort of story missions for them that you can unlock as you're playing through. And then, the sort of fourth one is the relic missions, which is just what we're about to do here. So you'll have the ability to unlock these relic quests as you're going through, and then by completing the relic quest, you will unlock the very rare items in the game. So through your tutorial, you've already done two journey missions, which as you can see with Gibbet Hill and the other one going off to the right there. And you've done a couple of job missions, so now you're doing your first relic mission, and then when you finish this, that's you kind of then into the full game. You're unlocking Chapter 1.1, as we call it. It's our very original name that we came up with. So yeah, if you want to jump in and we can...
Yeah, sure. So let's jump into the Falling Star, sort of first relic mission. Wynix asks, so just a guess, are relics a resource to simulate how many cards your party can enhance, kind of like prosperity limits?
So no, so we're not.
Yeah.
We've done something with the enhancements to try and replicate some of the prosperity. We've not done straight prosperity as you would see in the original board game, but you'll see as you progress through, you'll unlock enhancements, and we've sort of put in some of the limits there so that you can't just go and put enhancements on every single card multiple times.
Yeah, sure.
I think we've still kept the free respecking so that you can very quickly go in and try out different things if you want. But yeah, we've brought in a different mechanic with that. So the relics are really going to be about actually having some long-term achievements to do, essentially battle goals, that you're going to be challenge to go and do. So one of the first ones you'll get is quite a simple one, which is just take 20 damage. And once you've taken 20 damage, you unlock a new quest that you can go and do. The rest of the relics are a lot more challenging now, but we give you an easy one that very much everyone will get at some point.
Yeah, so I am playing on insane difficulty because that's what I always play. That's what I always play on, which may be a bit of a risky, prospect for the stream, but hopefully we'll do all right. So we got you. You're the expert, right? So we should be fine.
It's definitely not. I'm playing through on normal just now. I'm like, yep, this is good. I'm comfortable with this.
Okay, so yeah,
I would say that we have changed the difficulty settings. So we've upped them all one level now. So if you were playing on Insane in the last update, this is actually one level harder now.
Right. Okay.
So, well, this is the thing. Where the really cool point for us is that we've done as much as we can, and we have the closed beta who gives really good, valuable feedback. But we're very much at the point where we need a lot more people to come in and play and give us some feedback on kind of how the balance is.
Sure.
And even from sort of the really easier levels as well, like we don't really know difficulty-wise if we've got that right. We certainly. We've done what we can, but until you actually get it out to people and get the data back and get feedback, you don't really know for sure. But certainly, Insane is, the closed beta guys are really struggling with Insane as well. So it'll be interesting. This mission here doesn't take the difficulty settings in. You're still sort of classed as the in the tutorial at this point.
Okay.
So again, with the, I'm just going to ramble on while you play. With the original mode that we had done, one of the challenges we had was that you would go through and do the tutorial, and then you would come into the game, and the way that the game is designed and the difficulty is balanced, is that the first mission you would do is effectively as difficult. Maybe not as complex, but it would be as difficult to do as your 1000th mission, because you were basically having the same sort of threat level to deal with for the party you are at, the level that you have. We create a lot more of a curve on that, so that actually players are getting a more gradual ramp into the experience. Again, on Insane, we removed that ramp, so you go straight into the hardest difficulty setting. Right. But on easy and on normal, there's a slightly easier curve on that to help guide new players in.
Oh, I've messed up already. I didn't see that I was immobilized. There you go. First mistake of the stream. I didn't even see it. I should have gone for the ranged attacks. No, but so in terms of, I think we were speaking before, that the difficulty is going to multiply the further we explore the map, right? Yeah. So
we've added the quests all across the map, and kind of as you move further away from Demon's Gate, which is going to be your sort of central location, the complexity of the game grows in terms of the types of enemies that you're fighting. Things like night demons and forest imps are good examples. Like they're not necessarily more difficult to fight, well, apart from forest imps.
Sure.
But certainly the complexity-wise, it's actually much harder for new players to understand that. So we've kind of put them further out, and then we've ramped the difficulty even higher than it was in the previous mode for when you're right at the end and doing a lot of the sort of story missions and further journey missions and stuff. So it's a more constant challenge all the time.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good for people like me who like to play on harder difficulty levels.
Yeah, and the relic missions tend to be pretty hard as well. So kind of very much putting in there's sort of some of the further end content.
So I think, as some people said, that they like the kind of more of the story aspect, right? That you've kind of built into this mode with the kind of splash screens and stuff like that. Like when we went into this, there's more of a so there's more of a kind of like a story feel to it compared to adventure mode before.
Mike West, who's our creative director, he has been writing non-stop for the last 2 months or something. He's there's a lot of content has gone into it, so yeah, it's been great to add a bit more of that story, because I think everybody loves the gameplay that comes with Gloomhaven, and it's why so many people just we're still happy playing the original adventure mode. But yeah, it's been great to actually finally add some proper story to it, beyond just the bosses that we had and the side quests and stuff. So you'll see the story missions as you get into them. They trail into each other in terms of there's a progression there. So there's some characters that Mike has added, which are highly entertaining. I'll not spoil them, but when you get to them, they're quite good. Because there's loads of things, like we've added the ability to have allies and neutral enemies in quests as well. So sometimes when you'll fight, you'll actually have AI on your side, and there's a few quests where you'll fight and there's actually different factions that will fight against each other or fight against you. So there's so much content to go through. I mean, we've added up scenario types as well. So obviously before this build, you've been on kill all enemies in all rooms, but now you're going to find like survive missions. We've added in sort of spawning mechanics, so that actually there's going to be enemies spawning in rooms. You've got the protect missions as well, and in the sense that when you've got AI on your side, sometimes you'll actually be told that they need to survive as well. And then you've got loot missions as well, so you can actually have to go and loot specific items to achieve the goal as well. And again, we sort of mix and match them. And then some of the other really cool stuff is that we added scenario modifiers. So you're going to find things like poisonous hounds, where there's hounds in the level, but every time that they attack, you add poison to their attacks, which makes it much more challenging. But yeah, we've added quite a powerful system there for applying scenario modifiers. So there's loads of cool things that we can do. So we've started adding some of them with Chapter 1, but then as we go for further content, we'll continue to add more of these.
Yeah, so we did just see the trainer, who is kind of the he's like the kind of the character who shows you through the first part of the training scenario. Yeah. As it says, but then kind of like transitions into being kind of like someone who gives you like achievements and things to work towards, right?
Yeah, so we'll get to see that one to dispatch these guys. But yeah, so we've got there's kind of two main characters that are driving you through a lot of the story. There's more you'll unlock as well. But yeah, you've got the trainer and the merchant. So the trainer is very much giving you help on how to play right at the start, and then as you say, he's giving you sort of long-term goals and achievements to try and do, and that will unlock either you're getting rewards for that, or you're actually unlocking additional content, either characters or quests, relics, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the merchant is effectively your shop, but he's a very entertaining character.
Shopkeeper.
I enjoy. I've sort of been playing through for the last week or so. It's kind of the first time I've had the chance to sit down and really play it for myself. Like a lot of times when you're in development, you're kind of jumping into different points just to test something. It's not often you really get time to just sit down and play it organically. So yeah, I've kind of been doing that over the last week, and it's been really enjoyable. It's been nice to get to the point to actually sit back down and watch it. So I've been laughing away, but I've ruined it now because I've actually said something nice about Mike. He's done a good show.
Yeah. So the They say in the training scenario, you do get one of those spawning, survive type missions, right? Which is yeah. So I mean, that's cool. I mean, what did you say the other types? We've also got like do we have like escort type ones? Because I think there are a few of those in the board game.
Yeah, so there's not like escort in terms of you have to reach a certain position, but there are escort in the sense that you've got aggressive AI with you and you have to keep them alive.
Right.
So somewhat similar, but not from you need to get from A to B. So it adds a lot of variety. But yeah, the escort missions will be something we'll add further down. The spawning ones have been really interesting because Close Beta guys have been playing and kind of giving us lots of good feedback on it. And yeah, some of them are really, really challenging. We've kind of had to work through some exploits as well, so as they've kind of been working and figuring out different ways to deal with it. But yeah, like we're at the point where it feels really good from a normal difficulty. But yeah, on Insane it's really hard. Yeah. So again, we just really looking forward to actually getting some of the core community members in to play and give some feedback on how they find it all. But yeah, it's cool. It's a significant challenge now playing on those harder settings.
Mm-hmm. And we have the narrator who kind of leads us through, kind of directs us through most of the missions and things.
Yeah, we've added a generic narrator. So it's cool. You can see him pop up at the end that takes you through and explains the different things that are happening in the scenarios, a bit more of a flavour to it.
So this is when, so now we've finished that was the last mission of the kind of tutorial section, and now we're kind of, the reins are off. We can kind of start to explore a bit more on our own, right?
Yeah.
So this is where we kind of, let you know how the kind of different tabs and things work. We'll just sort of go through those as quick as we can.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks for the resub. Okay, so if we just get through to this so that we can go through the different screens, because I think this is the bit that everyone's going to be. So here's the merchant character that you were talking about, who's quite a colourful guy. In directing you in different things to do. So yeah,
he's very much about the money.
As a good merchant always should be.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's been really fun to create characters. We've sort of said to Isaac, they're very much everything we've done is not considered canon, and subject to change. But it's been really good to add a lot of flavour to the world. So.
So here we go. There's like two of these sort of journey missions. So these sort of journey travel missions are the main way that we kind of open up the rest of the map. They're kind of like a requirement, really, aren't they? You need to kind of do these to then further your kind of progression.
Yeah. So when you first get into this section for chapter 1.1, you're very much tasked with doing the journey missions here. You will be progressing on some of the other things, achievements and such like, but really the point here is to be moving through your journey missions. We'll say that every journey mission you do not only unlocks a new area, but also gives you a new item design for the shop. So I don't know if you go into the shop, you'll see that we've done the item stock or the item design that you get from the board game as well. So as you're doing the journey missions, you're unlocking those designs out of the shop, but you'll get one design from there, and then as you do job missions, you'll actually unlock additional designs as well. So it's just an extra thing you can go through and unlock. You have all your starting items there to begin with. One of the things we've done is the things like the potions. We've changed them so there's not actually an upper limit. Well, it's based on the number of characters you have unlocked. Because again, from speaking to Isaac, the things like eagle eye goggles, there's only 2 of them in the board game because he only wants 2 characters to ever have them, in a party, in a scenario. Whereas the potions, there's 4 of them because everybody can have one. But then for the digital side and what we've done here, it doesn't make sense for us to just limit it to 4. We can actually just limit it to however many characters you've got. Because this is, the other cool thing, like if you go in and try and change your characters, like you've got the full roster now, you can swap guys in and out as you want. But there is item binding now, so if you buy an item and equip it to a character, that character will, that's theirs. You can't give it to somebody else. You can unbind it for half the cost. But yeah, the items have a lot more. They're actually attached to characters now.
Sure.
But then so for potions, makes no sense to be equipping and unequipping a potion. So we give you as many of them as you have characters. But then for the other items, you will have to actually swap them around. So
yeah. And this binding feature is just more of a kind of a practical way to replicate that, right? Because the selling back to the shop and things like that is in the board game isn't, for this sort of purposes, it's not really like this is a much sort of cleaner way of doing it with the mode.
I don't think it's explained in the board game that it's, you're binding an item or anything. It's just you can't give it to somebody else. You can sell it and they can buy it, but you can't just give something to somebody. So yeah, it's a way for us to represent that. But at the same time, you don't want to. We could have said, well, no, you have to sell that to the shop and then somebody else buys it. But from a single player experience, it's a very strange thing to do. So we have the ability to unbind for half the cost and give it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean it makes a lot of sense. So the other sort of big sort of screen here is the trainer screen, which we sort of alluded to a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
This is kind of like this is where I'm going to spend a lot of my time trying to do these, I think. This is like the achievements, right?
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up to where you are, so I can see what you're looking at. But yeah, so we've added loads of achievements to the game there. So some of these are general progressions of but literally the general column is for how you're progressing through the main chapter and unlocking new areas. We've added kill achievements. It's good fun coming up with some of the names of that for with the Discord group. But we've added basically an achievement for killing 10 of every type of enemy, and then we added one that I think we went for 10 times or 20 times the number of standees in the board game.
Right.
So they're just meant to be general high level achievements that you're gonna earn over time. But it gives you a little bit of gold as you're doing the smaller ones, and then it's cool to have these longer term achievements and actually see you taking them off. But and then we have the Mercenaries. So each one has their own story that they're going to unlock. So as you level them up, you'll unlock the additional story missions for them. And then that's how we're handling spoilers, is that you'll have a quest to unlock a new mercenary. So there's one there just now, which is infuse one of each type of element, and that will unlock a 7th mercenary. I need to be careful on what I say. But then it's very obvious, like there's the achievement you have to claim, that will then unlock a quest that will have the class icon on it, and you'd have to then go into that to actually do the achievement. So if you don't want spoilers, don't click on them. You can redeem them and then see the class icon come up, and then you can figure out if that's what you want to be doing. I'm sure we could add in the rewards there, the class icon, so you can actually see which ones you want to claim or not. So we're just we don't want to just have them all there. So as you're unlocking new characters, that's kind of where you'll come from. And then you can see the relic missions. So there's the things like the taking 20 damage to unlock one of the first ones, and then I don't remember what the others are. Can't wait to see if you click on the screen. but yeah, we're going to be adding them in. So I think there's 10 in there just now for chapter 1, but again, we'll add more as we sort of each chapter that we roll out, basically. But yeah, there's quite a bit of content there already. And then enhancements. I could talk about you're going to unlock the enhancer,
which is part of this, right? The first thing we need to do, this 9 journey missions. Then we get that kind of is our route to do that, right?
Yes, I'll say you'll unlock the enchanter to get enhancements. Always confuses me that. But I'll talk about the fact that we've when you unlock that, you'll get all the +1 enhancements. So adding +1 to any attack, move, range, whatever. But we've put all of the other enhancements behind achievements. So they're typically things like inflict poison or inflict poison 20 times to unlock the poison enhancement, or curse something 20 times to unlock the curse enhancement. So trying to bring in that RPG elements to the, you
Sure,
actually need to be proficient in those abilities before you unlock the enhancements for it. And I think it's also nice to have a goal to do, and I think for new players it's quite daunting to go into enhancements and then have everything unlocked. You're like, I don't know what to do. Whereas if we keep it simpler, and then you've got targets of what you want to try and do, and it creates interesting ways to play as well. But you're then trying to progress to unlock the enhancements that you want. So you get to go in and play slightly different in scenarios, which I think is, as players, it's interesting to have those different ways to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Feldy asked, so is this substituting your life goal essentially? But this is, this patch is, from my understanding, kind of like the groundwork for the campaign. So this mode is a standalone mode. It's meant to be its own kind of thing. Right?
Yeah. This is not the campaign.
Yes, yeah, and this is just like kind of a springboard essentially for you to be able to,
Yeah.
So the mechanics some of the mechanics are gonna be similar, but this mode is not meant to replace campaign or be the same.
No, this will sit alongside it, but we've replaced the original adventure mode with this mode, because it's such a fundamental shift that, for one, it was cleaner for us to move on and in terms of development to just have it as one separate mode. But also, it's we think anyway, night and day above kind of where we were with the original adventure mode. So yeah, we'll maintain this and develop this further, but then we will have the campaign will come alongside that. So they're still very different. But and I know we've had a few comments, not too many. I was expecting more, to be honest, but we had a few people commenting on like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you not just doing the campaign? And I think as you play through this and you see what we've done, you realise that actually everything we're doing here is building out the fundamentals, the systems and mechanics that we need to do the campaign, but we've just spun it out into a different mode so that you've got something else to be playing while we're still working towards that campaign. And I think it stands on its own. I think it's a really good mode. I think it offers something different the campaign can't offer, with the kind of endless replayability, and the ability to actually, effectively unlock all the characters, level them all up, unlock all the items. It's kind of almost sort of references the Pokedex of Gloomhaven. You're just like, gonna go and get one of everything. Whereas I think, the campaign is a lot more about, one transition through it. I think you can probably try and work as efficiently as possible and tick off as many of the quests as you can. But there is very much sort of a one shot through, and likewise with the retirement of the characters. It's a slightly different design to it and feel to it. So yeah, I think this offers an interesting thing that we are going to have level 9 characters that you don't then have to retire. And again, we're really interested to see once players get there, how do they feel? Like, we have balanced a lot of the missions later on to be harder to live up to that. But there's certainly the opportunity for us to then take that further or add, another level on top if people are finding it too easy at that point. So yeah, again, it just gives us a lot more flexibility for where we can go with the mode, because with the campaign, we need it to just be completely, match what the board game did. Whereas with the adventure modes, the Guildmaster mode, we can be a bit more creative.
Yeah, and we can see that the sort of temple/sanctuary, we're not sure which one it is quite yet, right? But it is back essentially, which is the way that we can kind of bless. So for particularly hard missions, we've got the option here to be able to donate some gold to give ourselves 2 bless cards to help with this scenario. So yes, I say we talked a little bit about this, about there being, in the board game, if you do this a number of times, you unlock certain things. Is that going to be tied in this mode, or is this, at the moment, is the plan just to keep this as just for blessing sort of thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can basically, we can take those mechanics to use it to do whatever. Like we could have an achievement which is donate 10 times and you unlock this thing. That's totally an option. I wouldn't comment on whether we will or won't follow that, but sure. Yeah, again, like this is set up because this is exactly what we need for the campaign. So we've put it in to follow that. So you'll see, like, from here, we've kind of followed the shop sort of layout that you pick on the different characters to then choose which one you want to put the blessing on. But we've said, like, there's potential we could add more things to that temple, to the sanctuary. So you could, theoretically, you could buy strengthen or something. It's possible for us to expand it to do that. So again, you kind of try to hit the minimum level that we need for the campaign and to get it in and get playable. But then there's a lot of potential there, basically.
Yeah, and so
this is a new screen as well. I was just going to say,
I was about to comment that it is. Go ahead.
So this is effectively what we call the loadout screen. So now when you're traveling to do a quest, you still got the chance that you're going to hit random events on the way. But when you reach the quest, you obviously get a nice piece of artwork. I think they're all the same piece of artwork for now. There's more coming, but and you'll get the story given to you. But then at that point, you're also free to edit your loadout in terms of cards and items, but you are locked in terms of which characters are coming. Because again, you've gone through the road event, so we can't let you, do something, get your party poisoned, and then swap them all out for somebody else.
Sure.
But we give you the opportunity to actually confirm and equip your items. Don't know if you've equipped your items yet, have you?
Let's have a look. Oh no, they're bound to other people, aren't they? I think they are equipped, right?
Yeah, I think we put them in. I thought we put them in this morning, so...
Yes, yeah, no, they look like they're there.
Cool.
That's good. We didn't get anything extra. Nope, that's all good.
You should have got the resonant crystal, I think, was the only thing.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's,
You're probably not going to swap that for instead of a potion.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's a small item, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think I want one of those. I want the healing potion. But yeah, so that would essentially bind this. So if I was to click this would now bind this to my brute, essentially.
Yeah.
And it says there, and it's giving you the cost, which is half value, which is fine.
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably. I mean, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's take it with us. Could come in useful. So, so basically, are you happy to talk a little bit as well about multiplayer? Just, I know it's still in very early testing and we don't, things are probably very subject to change, but how this mode is sort of going to function with multiplayer in mind?
I'll probably defer questions on that.
Sure.
we are going to do a Q&A next week. I think we're going to just do through Discord. So we will sort of be answering some more questions on that from the multiplayer side of things. So yeah, I'll not spoil everything for that. But I will, we are designed that the multiplayer will work with this mode. So, but yeah, I'm on strict instructions from. Not to mention multiplayer.
Not to mention that's okay.
Yeah.
No, that's understandable. That's understandable. So if I get through and hopefully try and clear this mission quite quick, so we can get on to the next thing.
I'm for you to just die.
I may well just die.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully get on. It's on insane. It's just really, really challenging. So, I don't know. Well, another cool thing we've added is that you can now change the difficulty, between scenarios. So if you do try on insane and struggle, you don't have to start the entire party again. You can just swap it. And likewise, as you play through, like certainly to new players, very much just play on easy, get the hang of the game, and then try moving up. To try and create that a bit an easier ramp on for players, but then at the same time not get them stuck into just playing on easy for the rest of their campaign.
Yeah, I get. So in terms of some of the kind of other missions and things that there is out there, we've talked about journey missions, and we've talked about the artifact missions, but the job missions is sort of like what is essentially like replaces the old adventure mode missions, right?
Yeah, they're the sort of randomly generated in terms of there'll always be 3 random job missions available, sort of coming from a pool of quests. The job missions will give you gold, but they'll also give you an item design for the shop. The main thing is to get the gold from them, in terms of actually, they're a lot more return on gold from the job missions versus trying to do the journey missions and story missions. But yeah, getting the item designs is a good way to pad out the shop, get some extra items that you might need.
Sure, yeah. So it's just a way of just kind of leveling up, and then the levels of the characters is independent, right, as well. So if we were to pick a party that we really like to play, so we play that party a lot and we level up, the other mercenaries don't level up at the same time, so we will need to, in theory, spread it around a little bit. We will have to use all of the mercenaries, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. That certainly for the story missions, you need to level them up to actually unlock them. But then there are a few missions as well where we say, like, you have to bring this character with you. Not often we do that, but for us, it's certainly think it's interesting to have those different ways of playing. So there are a few missions where you're required to bring specific characters with you, but again, I think it's going to be interesting to see how people play, because normally you're leveling up characters and then retiring them and adding a new character that you get to come in at a slightly higher level from within the physical board game. You're matching your prosperity level, whereas we're not doing that. You're just leveling up your characters as you go. So I'm interested to see how people play, whether they have characters that they swap in and out, or do you effectively just have different parties that you change everybody. I've been playing a lot with Brute, Scoundrel, and Spellweaver, and then I was thinking, like, well, actually, if I change, I might just bring in 3 brand new characters to play, rather than swapping out one of them and bringing in the Mind Thief. I might actually just swap it into the only party, but and it's good. There's obviously the difficulty scales as it does in the board game, so you can change how you're playing with that. There's still doable.
Yeah.
We'll say the spawner effects we have here are still placeholder, and they're not. They're meant to come up the turn before. They come up on the turn where they actually spawn. So there'll be an effect there basically to indicate where an enemy is going to spawn, and you will eventually be able to hover over them, and you'll see which enemy type is coming. So we think it's kind of required that you can actually see that and figure it out.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's part of why it's so challenging just now, is you don't quite know exactly what's coming. You can't plan absolutely everything. So
yes. But this is a good example of like the new kind of scenario types that we have. So say for this one, we've just got to kill 4 bandit archers and 1 bandit guard to win, but we've got these waves of enemies coming at us. So it presents a lot more of a different challenge than...
I think the challenging thing for you is you don't know which one of those is going to be a bandit archer next time. So you can't plan around like, wow, I'm going to go and stand next to that one and then kill him or her. But yeah, that's maybe partly why it's so challenging just now. But
I'm definitely not playing particularly well as well. I would argue that. I think so. So let's have a look at some questions from the chat. There's a few questions about whether the price will be going up on the new update. I don't think that's going to be the case, is it? I think it's just ongoing from Steam for now, hasn't it? So
I've not heard anything.
The price of the early access is the final price of the game as well, right? There's no
I think we have said that the price may go up as we go through early access, but yeah, certainly with the I've not had any conversations around that just now.
Sure.
So
of course.
But yeah, I was going to say the forest, as you can see as well, has had quite a significant bit of landscaping done to it.
Yeah, this looks lovely.
So we've tidied up a lot of that. There was the sort of readability in the forest wasn't where it needed to be. So yeah, we got the gardeners in and trimmed all the hedges.
Yeah, I think initially there was a lot of grass, wasn't there? So like actually distinguishing the hexes sometimes could have been a bit tricky, and without using the kind of the overlay itself like this. This also looks much brighter as well, I think.
Yeah, there's been a lot of polish work gone in for lighting and things as well. So it's been good. We're just kind of getting to the point where we sort of throw everything in, and now we're just at the good point where okay, get to tidy things up a bit, polish things a bit. So
yes, yeah, definitely. So in terms of like this is kind of chapter 1, right? So the way that the kind of Guildmaster's designed is that it's going to be built into chapters, right? As we kind of as more content, you guys release more content. So we talked a little bit about there's huge amounts of content in this chapter, but the next chapter are they going to be based mainly around new mercenaries, or are they going to be based sometimes just around new biomes, new levels and enemies, or
there'll be a bit of both, or all three things. So you'll be new biomes, new characters, new enemies. So yeah, we've kind of planned things out. As you play through, you'll sort of notice large sections of the map are not visitable yet. They can't go to there yet. So the new chapters will kind of unlock those areas. But we'll be bringing in new enemies that will things like the job quests and such like will sort of add to the pool, so they'll be available from lots of different areas as well. And then as we're adding the new characters will come available, we'll be able to unlock them. And obviously things like the relics, the items that we'll be adding, so they'll get their own quest for them as well. But yeah, we were trying to figure this out the other day. We added
the line of sight tool here.
Oh yeah, it's
mentioned.
A handy one. Very, very much debug artwork on it, but it's pretty handy. Although, I managed to win an argument in the closed beta group. Actually got a question right. They're arguing that it was wrong, but the tool's been very handy with that. But it's that interesting thing with Gloomhaven that you can't draw a line from any point that touches a wall, and that includes like if the the hex actually protrudes out, or you got half hexes, then those points are actually excluded from line of sight calculations as well. So create some points where you're like, oh, I should have line of sight here. And you're like, nope.
Yes. I think the line of sight is it's a very common rules mistake that people make in the board game, and I think that just playing it digitally is really, I mean, there's a few things that I knew that I was playing wrong, just because of this, because you kind of see it, and I was like, is that supposed to be is this supposed to be like that? I'm questioning it myself, and then you see it, and then like I speak to you guys about it, and you're like, oh, I think if you read the rule book, I'm like, oh wow.
I do love our community for that. Like so many people that will post up a bug, but then there's always somebody on hand to be like, no, that's not actually how it works. So it's been also I have my rule number 1. You're not playing Gloomhaven correctly if you're not playing some of the rules incorrectly. I think you get away with it in the tabletop because a lot of them don't really affect the overall experience to it. But then it's when you come to play the digital, and then you've got assumptions on how it's going to work, and then it doesn't, and then people tend to blame the game first, and it's like, no, RTFM. Yes.
Yes, everyone's saying RTFM in the chat. I believe so.
I don't blame it. It took me about like a year before. I'm still learning things. There is a lot of rules and complexity within Gloomhaven.
So I don't want to, hold you to any time frames or anything, but in terms of, you guys released the new kind of roadmap alongside this update, so it was kind of like you updated the roadmap for the game alongside this update. So we've got things like more Mercenaries coming fairly soon, multiplayer hopefully coming fairly soon once it's gone through the testing and everything, but people are always going to ask the campaign. Is there do you guys have a goal, or are you still at this point in time just sort of kind of keeping that close to your chest to try and make sure that you get it right?
For us, like, we certainly don't want to commit too far ahead, because as you see, there's any software development never quite goes according to plan, and so the last thing we want to do is commit to anything, and then people get very frustrated with it for not hitting those. So we try to give as much visibility as we've got the confidence in. But for us just now, it's all about just trying to get this update done, and then looking at into the next chapter. But everything just adds to to what we can do for the campaign. So it's adding the characters we need, the enemies we need. It's all getting there, but we're just there's not an immediate. I don't know. We don't want to rush it. We're obviously working as fast as we can, but we definitely want to just make sure that it's done as well as we can. So things like this, these updates come out, we get huge amounts of feedback, and we get new enemies in. We part of why we wanted to do the early access and do it this way is that we can get that feedback, and we can actually correct things and adjust things so that people are happy, and we can add a lot of those quality of life things to it as we're going through. Whereas if we just committed to finishing the campaign and getting it done and out, then that would, once it's out, it's out. So it's very much about trying to just do it as well as we can with the time that we have.
Oh, so a common question Frodo's asked is been asked in Discord as well. I think have answered this before in the Discord, but for the multiplayer access for the next release, it's going to be kind of a closed door testing, isn't it? Like just invite only testing for a while.
So again, very similar sort of story that we don't want to just throw the floodgates open, have 1,000 people come in and have a bad time in multiplayer and then leave us all negative reviews on Steam. That's not going to help anybody. So we want to start small and just slowly ramp up as we've got confidence in it. So we will be starting with effectively a closed beta within the Discord. So I say to people, it's the active people in Discord that we're looking for, because those people have been around or either been around for a long time or have been active within the sort of beta phases and providing us with bugs and feedback, because that's what we're going to need. We don't at this stage don't need people just coming in trying to play it and expecting it to work. We need people to understand how we develop and the fact that we are trying to do this with the community. So that's why we're starting with that smaller group, so that we can collect that feedback and actually make sure everything's working well before we start to expand it. But multiplayer is one of those things. If anything's ever going to go wrong, it's going to be the multiplayer. So we just definitely want to be as safe as we can and just take our time with it and make sure that we're in a good position. But as soon as we've got confidence that it's going well, then we will 100% just be opening the gates and getting more people in. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's smart. A lot of people are, looking to continue their Gloomhaven campaigns and multiplayer experience, and you don't want a lot of people maybe, having their experience soured because, was ultimately still a work in progress that, has got lots of things to change. So, I think it's completely understandable from my point of view.
Yeah.
Green Leader asks, is there a plan to test the campaign mode in early access, or is that something that will be kind of just, launched essentially, once it's available, or is that going to be, so is I guess what he's asking is the game kind of going to, go gold, if you will, as soon as the campaign's done? Is it going to be out of early access at that point? I presume is what he's sort of implying.
I mean, our intention would be that we, when we launch the campaign, we leave early access. That was kind of our intention. But we do have our closed beta group, so we will obviously be getting some feedback through that. But yeah, to be honest, it's not something that we've thought about, or that we've committed to in anything just now. Like, the intention was always that as we finish up the campaign, that would be kind of, we'd release the campaign and leave early access at the same time.
Sure.
Obviously through the Guildmaster mode and the adventure mode, that we've got the confidence that things are going well there. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the options are. We're kind of very aware that the campaign, will be sort of probably something that most people may only play once. So I think with the early access, we don't necessarily want people to come in and experience that in a still in development form. We'd rather that they're coming in and experience that as a final version.
Sure.
So yeah, I think we'll lean on the community that want to come in and help, and that are very that are okay kind of with that experience, so that we can polish it up. But yeah, I think once we release the campaign to everybody, it will be as we are leaving early access, and then I can sleep.
And finally you can rest.
Yeah, I get a couple of days off maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think the update is looking superb, so I think it's going to give a lot of people a lot to get their teeth into for a long time. So
cool.
Yeah, it's a really good I've only got limited experience so far, but it certainly gives you more purpose, lots more content to do, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very exciting update for sure.
Are you gonna win this?
I don't think I am. I've been kind of like ignoring the fact that I've been doing really terrible.
I'm like trying to follow you.
I'm like, I just blame it on having to talk to you, right? No, it's totally just I'm having an off day, chat. Please don't. I'm normally better than this, I promise.
This is like when I had to do the...
I'm looking at it and I was just thinking, I just need to kill, just kill 2 more archers and just ignore everything else. I was like, it's just focus on killing the archers. I was kind of hoping that this guy was gonna...
Stream where we were playing at the same time, and it was like I was actually talk and think about how to play this as well.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think about my route to win here is quite slim. I mean, if I can't... I was hoping to single out and just kill this one guy and that would be it, and then this bandit archer would be the last one, but they've still got to act yet and they're going to attack everybody, so it's not looking too good for me. I definitely just need to kill this guy, but I don't know. I mean,
I did tell you that Insane was very hard. We've got 2 more to go.
I think my I think I can also say that I'm not using, the Vermling, I'm not using the crack heart, I'm out of my comfort zone a bit here.
Yeah. I did wonder when you got to the loadout screen whether you were like, oh, I did not pick my character.
So, that's, I can always blame it on that, but yeah, I've never wanted ranged so much in my life right now. I could really just do, with any ranged attack, we'll do it.
I did say we bumped this up another level, so this is plus 2 compared to the board game. So
plus 2 additional difficulty. Fredo asks, if all mercs aren't released with full launch, that could cause a bit of issues. So when you were talking about like the campaign, at that point, all the mercenaries will sort of be in the game, right? Because you're going to be adding them to this mode, and then it's sort of campaign will seamlessly integrate, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll try and hold back some mercs just for the campaign, or maybe add them, to this mode as we're releasing. It's not looking good there.
Didn't see that one coming. But this is a new screen, so we get to see this screen.
Yeah, so I in terms of the mercs, I don't know, we might try and hold back a couple. We'll see where we are. Again, the Closed Beta group, they're very much a secret little group off to the side, but they do amazing work for everybody else, because they're very much the canaries down the mine shaft. So we've added the new stat screen. The total on the right needs some updating. It's I think it's tracking just now the total across all games. So we're going to change that, I think, to be showing you the actual stats within the scenario.
Right, okay, so this is, obviously, we didn't kill 10, otherwise I wouldn't have lost. So, so at the moment it's just showing us our overall progress to it. Yeah,
so I think I must have tracked the achievements through the tutorial, I imagine. This is just showing you some of the achievements you've got, but as you play through, you'll get more achievements as well. So
perfect. So now if we, we get sent back, unfortunately, because that was the first mission. Our trainer sends us back. Let's see if we have got those achievements. Let's see if we got those. Yeah, so unlock relic quest so we can claim the reward.
Yeah, I think with the
oh, there you go, and it's it's far away. We're gonna have to do some exploring.
That's a good bait there.
Yeah, that's the come this way, right? Come this way. Yeah. But so Feldy asks about the estimated release date for multiplayer, but I think as we've sort of said, that's at the moment in flux, isn't it, because of the testing and things that need to happen.
Yeah, so it's yeah, we'll see how it goes, basically. But yeah, I think it's just very much going to be a gradual ramp as we go through it and get confidence on it. So there's not a set date just now.
Oh, that's good.
So are you gonna change the difficulty now?
I mean, it wouldn't do much for my reputation, really, if I was to do that. If hypothetically I wanted to, how would I go about doing that?
So if you hit escape and go to the options, I think there's
there we go.
Tabs at the bottom there.
Okay, there we go. So we could, if we wanted to, move it down, but
you could if you wanted to. I mean, if you know.
I assume it's
with your characters that you actually want to take in.
So, so this used to just be a +1 then. So this is like a whole additional level of difficulty now.
Yeah. So there's a bug that shows it as highlighted on easy, but it's not. It's on the same. So yeah, it used to just go to +1. So we've now effectively added easy at one end because it used to go not hard insane. So we've added easy and moved everything down to the left, and then put the insane on the end, which is +2. Which, yeah, not something I would be playing on. It is pretty insane. But yeah, it's named well.
Well, that's good because that's the challenge, right?
I think it's challenging with well, it depends what the items you've got as well. I know some of the guys in close beta were talking about the amount of pierce that you actually need for some of these early missions. So that might be something to look at. You could you can always sell your items that you've got bound, and that would actually, you could go and buy some other stuff. So there is some options there, but I think if you've got your dream team, surely you'd be able to manage it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would be able to. Also, I mean, it's good because we have these different types of scenarios now where, specific mercenaries and specific card choices are going to matter much more. We talked a little bit before about how, you can kind of, in adventure mode, there was almost like a best build type scenario, right? In which, it often felt like there was a, like an optimal strategy of how to play. Whereas, with this mode now, with the different kind of scenario types, it feels much more like the board game in the sense that you're going to have to chop and change your cards. You're going to have to maybe take different mercenaries for different types of mission.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there's loads of different scenario types. So some of the spawning missions are really challenging, and actually one of the tactics is kind of using something like Cragheart to actually create, some safe spaces, and it's certainly, creates quite an interesting way of playing. And then there's there's a mission where you receive 1 damage at the end of every turn, and things like that are stuff like frost armor becomes nowhere near as efficient to use. So it's interesting going and doing those missions, and you're playing the normal way you play, and then you're like, well, actually, this doesn't work. Like, I'm gonna have to maybe try this again and change it up. So, and even with that mission you're doing now, that you might be actually there's it's not the same explore, open all doors and kill everything. It's actually, how do I kill 5 archers? So is there some better strategies around that?
So Feldy asks, you can't solo play a party larger than 2. No, that's incorrect. Is solo you can play up to 4. It is a max 4, right? And multiplayer will also be up to 4 players, right?
Yeah, 2 to 4.
Yeah. So it will be, I believe in the board game, you can, like as people said before, who's actually playing by the real rules. I think the solo rules of the game kind of suggest you play 2. I think that's more of a nod because of the amount of admin that you have to do playing more than 2 characters. But when you're playing digital, that just gives you a really nice, it kind of does all that stuff for you, right? So it's a lot easier to do. We're going to help the wine merchant here as well because we're nice people, unless he gets angry at us.
I'm sure that won't bite you.
I'm sure that won't come back. Trying to help people out is never ended badly, right?
There's no plans for Frosthaven just now.
No plans for Frosthaven. There you go.
No comment on that. We're very much
that.
focused on Gloomhaven. We're
Strengthen. There we go.
There's a lot to get through, so there's nothing to announce on Frosthaven. So
sure. I suppose the next question would be expansion. Then, is there any? It's like a minor
until we get Gloomhaven done. It's like every time that people ask about it, and I'm like, well, it's not my fault Isaac keeps bringing out more content. It's like, we've got this giant box of content to get in, and people keep asking for adding more content.
You've got your work cut out for you for sure. So
a lot to do.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always just joked to put Jaws of the Lion. Hey, that's probably a no for that one as well, right now.
Yeah. Well, it's been interesting because I think Jaws of the Lion, again, not that I've actually looked at it, but I think Isaac was looking at it from a more sort of casual introduction to with Gloomhaven. So it's been interesting that we've kind of had to do the same thing. Actually, okay, how do we sort of bring people in a bit softer introduction to it? But I think it'd be interesting to actually see how that plays, and the different sort of ramping on.
Yeah, and I guess in theory for Jaws of the Lion, it wouldn't necessarily need to be the story content. It could just be the mercenaries in a way. I mean, that could be interesting enough, for that. It wouldn't necessarily mean you'd want the whole content. It could be that just the mercenaries would be good.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing for us is we are trying to build out quite a powerful sort of modding system as well, so that there will be some flexibility there for people to bring in their own content. I'm sure there's a lot of new mechanics you won't be able to do through just modding. But it's pretty extensive what you can do, and even with this new mode, there's actually quite a wealth of options that are available to you that you could completely redesign what we've done here. Like all of the quests, the locations, how you unlock things, how you progress, the travel missions, all that stuff. That's all defined within our YAML files. So they're just effectively text files that you can edit. So it's entirely possible people could create their own campaign to actually play through. There's quite a lot of options in there. And then we've been extending out the level editor. Quite a big difference from I think what people will have seen before. But we've added the Steam Workshop integration for the level editor. So you can actually create a custom level and then upload it. And then people can download it and play it. And you can take on those levels with your existing sort of guild, and the levels you can set them up in the editor that they can scale basically to match the party, or you can set it up that they don't scale and you just make them insanely hard, and then it's about how good is your actual guild, can you actually finish it. So there's this huge amount of content there people could be adding themselves for this, and even we've added the spawning mechanics to it, so you can set up your own spawn missions. We've added all the different objective types. We've actually added sort of custom objectives, so you can make really bespoke objectives. We effectively use this for the tutorial, so there are things like, you can set up an objective is to, use a health potion,
Sure.
so that we can actually tick that off as something you've done in the tutorial. But you could change that around to be, have specific objectives for reaching certain points on a map. You can also have, dialogue and things appear from all the different things that happen in the game. So you could have whole different scripts running as you get to different points in a level or kill certain characters, that you could actually have dialogue come up. So I think there's loads of potential there for people actually making their own whole scenarios, not just whole stories basically, not just a level to play through, that you could be adding new dialogue, adding all the different characters, kind of getting pretty much everything that we've done from the adventure mode. You can take that and then modify it and then sort of replicate your own version of it.
Yeah. So, is modding going to be, because at the moment it's still two separate versions of the client, right? You kind of have with and without mods. Is it going to remain that way, or is the plan to kind of have it more as a client that just has it all within itself?
Well, we keep them separate so that you don't basically mess up your save file, because we can't guarantee how what mod somebody has made.
Sure.
And if they've done something, I don't know, that's going to somehow damage your save file. So we keep them separate so that you've got the confidence to actually go and try out these mods and you're not actually going to break anything. But with the custom levels, you can play the custom levels because they don't save anything. You can go and play like a single level that somebody's made, and you can just play that in the normal version of the game. That's why you'll see the level editor button is there. So if you subscribe to somebody's mod where they've made a custom level, that level will appear in the level editor button. And then they can set it up that it's a level you can take on using your existing party, and then you'll be brought basically to the loadout screen, and you'll be given the opportunity to pick whatever characters you want, pick whatever items you want, and then go and take it on. And then likewise, you can do the puzzle missions. Kit, on the guys in community, had made a couple of really good puzzle missions. I think those are really interesting. So you could absolutely build out some more. I love those
missions. The puzzle missions are my favorites.
Yeah.
I really enjoy those. The tutorial in a way kind of has those in, because it kind of teaches you, how to see these things, right? Because it kind of gives you those kind of like, it does give you kind of puzzles. It teaches you the mechanics through a puzzle, essentially.
Yeah, that's very much what we wanted to do. Again, looking to get some more feedback on it. We didn't necessarily want it to be, click here, click here, click here, right, okay, you're done, go and play the game. We thought it's probably, especially given the complexity in Gloomhaven, we thought it's actually better that people, we guide them as much as we can, but then you do have to actually sit and figure this stuff out before you can progress. So it's, I don't know, again, we'll see. We'll try not to make it too challenging, but it's certainly, there's some thinking required in the puzzles, but hopefully, people are going to come out of those tutorial missions and be ready to go and take on the first proper mission.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm feeling a bit more confident about this one now. I've spotted a nice little way to block off these two elite guards, so I'm feeling a little bit better about myself on this one now. So we can stay away from these two for the whole scenario now. Hopefully, just keep running away from them until they draw a ranged attack, of course, and then I'll just probably end up dying. But
that was one of my ones, the later level. I just had managed to get the right number of obstacles there originally, and then Craghart was luckily on hand to block off some areas, so I had a whole corner of the map to myself, and then just 2 entrances either side, and then plunked Brute at one of them and Crag out at the other, and then had Spellweaver and the Summon as well behind, just picking everything off. So
perfect.
I think it's harder with these ones because you've got to actually go and get the ranged characters. The one I was doing was just survive 9 turns, whereas this one you actually have to go out and kill them.
Yeah, I've noticed that now that I've gone up to 3 mercenaries, it's gone up to 9 archers.
Yeah.
4 before. I don't know, it's an extra 5 for one
Okay. Yeah, no, so it was 5.
Is it 5? Okay.
when you kill them, it goes down. So it was probably 6. In fact, you probably killed 2, so it was probably 6. So you get 3 per character.
3 per character, right? I got you.
I would imagine, yeah, because you've not killed anyone now, so it'll be 3 per character. I'll check. Mike is probably messaging me now. Saying, yeah, it's 3 per character. What are you talking about? It's a bug.
Right, I think I was going to use the ice on this guy here. And I said these say for the moment, these sort of summoning riffs are sort of placeholder for the beta, isn't it? So these will change a little bit as they get patched out.
Yeah. They did have to look quite good.
I like them. The only thing I say would be nice to know. I mean, it depends on how difficult you want to make the game, I suppose. If you want to make it hidden or if you want to make it visible. As I said, like from from playing the board game, that perspective is you always know, right? But I know Isaac's always been kind of like, certain things can be hidden. I know in Frosthaven, the campaign book and the way it's designed is going to be much more that you're not going to see what's coming up, which I prefer to play that way anyway by using an app, companion app to do so, and I think a lot of people do like to play that way, so
that's why we did the sort of the ghost floor layout. So where you've got rooms and doors that you have to go through, we show you the rough layout, but we don't show you exactly what's in there. So I think it's important to know that in terms of like how much movement do I need. I don't want to go through into another room and then like, there's 2 rooms, 3 rooms. Like I probably shouldn't have burnt that big movement card. So I think it's useful to know from that side. But we it's good not to give away too much information. But I think with the spawners, we will certainly. The plan is to bring it in that you'll have you hover over it and it will tell you what is actually going to spawn there, which will make life slightly easier.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Craig, and giving me early access to show the game off and the new patch off, and I think it's looking amazing and it's a lot of fun to play. And the plan is for it to launch, is it the 24th next week?
So we're launching into it'll come out to everybody on the 25th.
25th.
I think it's 25th. Let me double check.
Next Thursday, yeah.
But we are going to be launching it into the open beta later tonight. So we'll let everybody get to come and play.
There you go.
But we'll see, make sure it works first for you.
Yeah.
But so we'll be launching into the open beta. So we'll announce in the Discord when that's actually live for everybody. But certainly, it's open beta, so it's still not done. We're still working on it. But we're at the point where we definitely want you guys to come in and start giving us some feedback, helping us find some of those harder to reproduce bugs or or trigger things with random layouts and items and everything. So we're at that point now. So we are going to roll that out to everyone later on.
Excellent. So there you go, folks. If you want to get access to the kind of open beta version of the client, then head over to the Gloomhaven Digital Discord, say hello, and yeah, there's I think there's a thread in there, isn't there, on how to get access, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got our bug reports channel, and there's in there. But I'll be posting it. It'll go into the open beta. So you just right click on the game in your Steam library, and you go to Properties, Betas, and there'll be a tab there where there's the open beta. But yeah, we'd sort of say, be aware that it's still in development, so there's no guarantees that we won't. Your save might get wiped or something. There's no guarantee you'll get to carry that over, basically.
Yeah, I did notice that by going between the different versions of the client, which I've been doing today, I've lost my first save on this, which no loss because I didn't really get very far. But so yeah, if you do move between the different client versions as well, I think. But
so that stuff will sometimes happen. We're at the kind of point where we shouldn't do. But yeah, we're at the point where we will actually need to just roll it out to a wider group of people so we can start to get feedback and see whether there are any issues like that. But that's good. It gives us a good week of bug fixing before we roll it out to everyone. But yeah, I think it's in a pretty good state just now. It's certainly a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. So
perfect. No, well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you volunteering to come on and answer questions from the community.
No problem. Thanks for doing it. It's good to not have to play the game at the same time as talk about it.
Yeah, it's more difficult.
Really
I'm really struggling. I mean, I guess usually when I'm just sort of speaking my mind, it's not so bad. But when I'm trying to, come up with some nice questions, it's it's very difficult for me to concentrate on doing well in the game. But I feel like I'm doing a bit better on this one, apart from the vermeling. But
Well, I will leave you to it.
Perfect. No, thank you so much.
Do it, but yeah, good luck with it, and I'll be back at some point, I'm sure.
Thanks a lot, Craig.
All right.
See you soon.
Everyone.
Thanks, Craig.
Bye.
All right, guys. There we go. So a big thank you to Craig in the chat. That's really awesome that that he was willing to kind of come on and say hello and and answer questions from everyone. Right? I think that's super cool. And it's quite clear that Craig and the team and everyone at Flaming Fowl is really really invested in the game and really trying to make it everything that it can be. So yeah, so thankful. So thank you so much. I have a heal potion too. I mean, so there's no way I can lose. What?